What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's a pretty exciting day. We've got a new conversion kit that is actually competitive in the close range meta. So as always, if you guys like the content, don't forget to drop a like on the video, drop a comment, and let me know what you guys think about this new conversion kit. But let's get into it, and we'll talk about the Jack Revenger conversion kit for the BP50. All right, so this Jack Revenger kit is up on TGD. You guys can go play with it yourself if you want. But basically it does minus 25% bullet velocity, extra 15% fire rate, minus 15% horizontal recoil, or sorry, plus 15% horizontal recoil. It definitely bounces around left to right more. Minus 30% vertical recoil, so it has very, very little actual recoil that you have to control. A bunch of movement speed bonuses, like significant, from 10 up to 13%. Minus 22% ADS time, plus 1.24% reload time, so it increases the reload time, but you also get a 60 round mag built in, and then minus 20% sprint to fire. So basically just turns the BP50 into an SMG, and we'll go look at the stats here and show you how that compares. Alright, so I already went into Plunder and got this tested, and it's up on TGD. It has the exact same damage profile as the regular BP50, so we have the conversion kit over on the left and the BP50 with no conversion kit on the right, and you can see that the colored regions are exactly the same, so you still get the neck headshot, which is awesome. That's always a nice benefit to have. And then comparing these damages, you can see you lose about 2 damage across the body in the first damage range and about 2 meters with the conversion kit, but remember you get that extra fire rate, so that makes up for it. Second damage range, you lose a lot more damage. Third, you lose a bunch of damage again, and then fourth, I mean, it's trying to make it an SMG. So the first damage range is competitive, and the ones after that, you're going to want to stick to the regular BP50. Taking a look at the TTK chart here against the other two most meta contenders, I've got these all built out with what I think are their meta builds. So we got the MCW in orange with its conversion kit, and then the HRM-9 in the cyan color, and then the BP50 with the conversion kit in red. You can see in the first damage range, they all have very, very similar TTKs. The MCW is a little faster at 600 versus the BP50's 609. The HRM is 612. So those are all, I mean, literally 12 milliseconds different. That's less than 1 frame even at 60 frames per second. So if I include sprint to fire time in this, so in SMG situations, you can see the BP50 and the HRM-9 come out slightly on top, a little bit better than the MCW. ADS time, if I add that in, the BP50 also has the fastest ADS time. And then if I scroll down here and I look at the actual stats, so we got the BP50, MCW, HRM. ADS movement speed is a little higher on the HRM. ADS time is just crazy on the BP50 with this build. And you get that 60 round mag built in, which is wild. Also has the highest bullet velocity, highest fire rate, which is the most forgiving. Crouch movement speed is a little slower than the MCW. Looking at the other movement speeds here, you can see down here just base movement speed. The BP50 is quite a bit faster, so 5.51 versus 5.21 and 5.08 for the MCW and the HRM. Sprint speed is much faster on the BP50 as well. Here's what we were talking about. So sprint to fire on the BP50 in this first column, 103 versus 123 for the MCW. And they're built basically the same way with minimizing that sprint to fire time. And I would also say the BP50 has easier to control recoil for sure than the MCW. So I do think this is going to be probably the new meta. Attack sprint speed's much higher on the BP50 as well. In general, it's just a much quicker, much more SMG-like SMG than the other options that we have right now, and it has that super competitive time to kill as we saw. So overall, I do think the BP50 is going to be the new meta, especially for smaller maps. Things like sniper support, the MCW conversion kit probably will still be pretty effective for that. On to the best build for this thing. So you can see when you equip the Jack Revenger kit, a ton of the attachment slots are blocked, so we can't use a barrel, a stock, an underbarrel, a magazine, or a comb. That doesn't leave us with too many options. So for muzzle, we do want to be suppressed. In this case, you know, a lot of the time it's a trade-up between using the slot for suppression or for recoil control. In this case, the recoil is super easy on the BP50, so we're just going to use a suppressor. I think the two best options are the Shadow Strike, which is literally just a suppressor. It doesn't hurt the gun in any way. It just makes it better because it makes you suppressed, so you're quiet and you stay off the minimap when you fire. Then the Sonic Suppressor is another great option with 5% extra range, 13% bullet velocity, a little bit more recoil, but like I said, the recoil is not an issue on this gun at all. And then 2% sprint to fire penalty, which is minimal. So those are both great options. You can decide if 2% sprint to fire is worth it for 5% range. In general, I think that Sonic Suppressor is probably worth it for most people. Laser, we are going to use a laser just because we're so limited here. So the Kimura Rill 33 laser light, this has the best stats with huge ADS and sprint to fire benefits, which we really want since we're converting an AR into an SMG. But this is an always-on laser light, so you can never shut it off. So if you're ever standing around a corner, people are going to see you, even if you're just not even ADS'd. That's something to keep in mind. If you're playing super aggressive and you're pushing everything, then this one would be what you would want to use for sure, because you don't care about that so much. Now, if you're going to use one that maybe is only visible when you're ADSing, I think that probably the best option is the VLK Laser 7 milliwatt. This gives you 5% ADS time and 7% sprint to fire, and it's only visible when you're ADS'd. So that is the one I would recommend for most people probably. There are a few other options that give you a little better sprint to fire bonuses, but in general, I think the VLK is probably going to be the one that you're going to want to use. The iron sights are very good on this, so we don't really need an optic. So we're going to use ammunition, and like I said, the recoil is super minimal on this. You want to use high grain rounds, get you that 15% damage range and 15% bullet velocity bonus. For the rear grip, we're going to use the CCG tack tape. Again, hurts your recoil, but helps your sprint to fire significantly, and recoil is super easy, so we don't care about that. So this build is going to be excellent. The one that you're going to want to play with is the laser. Decide how you like to play and kind of switch that laser around. I think that overall, it's probably the new meta SMG for most people. Alright guys, that's it for the video. As always, if you appreciate all the work that goes into testing these weapons, building the website, making the YouTube videos, doing all the things we do over here at TGD, direct subscriptions to the website are always the best way to support. It makes it so I can just make honest content. I don't have to do anything sensationalist on YouTube. I can just be honest with you guys, and that's what I like to do. So, always appreciate those subs. Appreciate you guys just watching and supporting in any way. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.